of everybody. Your attend your attendance is now available sa atong Google Classroom. And I just want to remind everyone nga if you have joined the other sections, since the scheduling was not yet fixed during the first week, kindly leave the section wherein wala mo na enroll. Okay? So kindly do that para pod I would be able to trace kung asa mo nga section. So for now, kindly remove your name or leave the Google Classroom nga na-enroll na nasulod mo nga dili mo enroll dito. Okay, so stick with your schedule. Um, Stick with the section that you're enrolled into. Then leave the one nga wala mo na enroll. Okay? So I think we have to start our discussion for today with the concept of voltage. So again, this is a recap on your basic knowledge in electricity. Okay. So in this morning, we will be starting the discussion with voltage, and we will start it with this figure here. Okay. So imagine this figure. So ato lang siyang ibutang og we will just be assigning this one into an arbitrary shape. So nga na ang nawong because if we would be representing it this one, ang sulod ani niya it could be pwede na to siya ma-assign as resistor. Okay, so this will be your resistor. Okay. So we are now trying to visualize what would be the scenario or what would be the situation in a particular network when we talk about voltage. So say for example we have here resistor. Okay. So we could also represent this one as capacitor. Okay. Pwede po siyang inductor. Sorry. Okay. So pwede po siyang inductor here. Okay. Or it could be a network. So it could be a series of resistor. We have here a capacitor. Pwede siya ingana. Then parallel with an inductor. Okay, so any network that we could imagine would be the inside components of this shape. Okay, so now when we say about voltage, we need to define the positive and negative. It means that we need to find the polarity of our voltage. Okay, so why is that? We need to define, say for example, we have here the positive and negative, because we need a potential difference for any network for us to have voltage. Okay, so that is why we need to assign in all of our calculations, we need to assign um, potential difference in our circuit. Okay, so I've noticed some of you kay muin siya sa atong classroom nga dili email sa CSUCC ang gamiton. So that is why they won't be able to sign in or join the classroom since they are not using the official email of the university. So whenever you will be joining your classes in all of your subjects, kindly see to it that you are using the emails provided by the university to you, or else you won't be able to join the class. Okay, so um, please bear that in mind. Okay, so that is why we need to have the signs for our voltage, so that the positive and negative, so in two terminals, so that we could have the potential difference, and then there would be a voltage existing in that network. Okay, so don't forget that. Okay, so now when we say voltage, okay, so di ba nag-assign man tao um positive and negative to our network. So say for example in this figure A, Okay, we have here figure A. Okay, when we say voltage is equal to -5, okay? But then your sign is this one. You have the positive here and the negative here. Okay, so natong positive dira, natong negative diri. So our voltage would then be -5 volts. Okay, so what happens if we will reverse the sign convention that we set in this network? So we have the same network, but then i-reverse lang nato ang sign. So automatically, mo positive na ang atong voltage. So ingana lang na siya. Okay? So all throughout your calculations, you need to define the potential difference, the positive and negative in your components, so that you would be able to identify the value of your voltage. So kung ang final answer nimo is -5, but then ang sign is inverse, then you have to change that to +5 like this one in network B. Okay? So what happens kung +5 pud siya diri sa atong network? Then ang sign is this one. Naa sa taas ang positive, naa sa ubos ang negative. Then the value of your voltage is then 5 volts. Okay? So, kung mabali ang sign, ma-interchange, automatically the sign of your voltage, the magnitude of your voltage would also change. So very basic. Okay, so you need to be very careful with the concept of voltage, more particularly in, like say for example, we do um, buy stuff online, di ba? So you need to, one of the things that I've learned, like si Sir gani, si Sir na gani nga um, more into the practice of engineering, mamali pa man gani po si Sir. Like say for example, last 2 months, okay, I've ordered something from Amazon. Okay, so I've ordered this mug. So it's a mug nga i-heat niya ang um, coffee para dili mo bugnaw kay di naman lami ang coffee pag bugnaw, di ba? So I've ordered that one. So I see to it nga since Amazon is based in the United States, so ang voltage commonly, so please take note of this one ha if you do online buying sa inyong mga gusto nga paliton. Unlike sa Lazada and Shopee, which is very common in the Philippines and in Asia, wherein the voltage is around 220, di ba? Pila yung voltage sa Philippines? Pila sa Philippines? Anyone? Pila yung voltage nga ga-operate sa Philippines?
230.
230 to 220, di ba? 220, basically the effective is 220, but napoy uban nga ibutan lang niya og 230 because it is fluctuating, di ba? But definitely the rating is 220 muna siya ang ginabutang. Okay, but some say 230. That is one of the problems here in the Philippines, kay di no, there would really be times nga ay mga fluctuations sa atong voltages, which is not really desirable in doing some say for example, in fabricating the IC, which requires a stable source of power, or so that's one of the things that we need to work out in the Philippines because we don't have that stable power source. Okay, so unlike sa uban nga, they are really into, like say for example, sa Taiwan, they are fabricating ICs because they are capable of making their power source very stable. It's not fluctuating. Okay. So, but definitely some of the label would then be into 220. Okay. Okay. So in the United States, ang voltage nga ginagamit nila is tricky. So let me just share it to you my screen here. Maybe I'll have to try. So I'll just have to okay, so share now. Share now. Screen two. Okay, screen two. Allow. Okay. So Kita ninyo ni? Makita na ninyo ako. Unsa yung nakita karon? Unsa yung nakita karon?
Program.
Okay, okay. So, this is the tool that I am using in my online job. So aside from my teaching job, I am also engaging into outsourcing in online job. So I do stuff, engineering stuff for international companies. So for this one, I am working as electrical estimator. So one of the things that I really want you to learn in this subject is to appreciate the things, the practical things that you would be able to use in your daily life. So not just theories, not just really more into how to calculate, but what are the things that you should learn for you to be able to survive in your profession. Okay, so aside from my teaching job, I also do sidelines, no, but not really sidelines, guy. Like mind you, class. This is how the field in electrical engineering is being appreciated in other countries. Like, say for example, this one. This is not my main source of job, but it is paying high. Okay, so this is not just more of like this is not really a sideline thing, since the salary that that you will be gathering, or you will be getting, or you will be receiving from doing engineering stuff, from doing engineering works for international companies, would definitely give you a sustainable source of income. Okay? So just electrical engineer, electrical estimator in the United States, if they are, or in other parts of the world, if they will outsource a Filipino, they will be paying 30,000 to 35,000. That's your basic salary. Okay, and imagine the work is not really that hard. Okay, like say for example in this job. Okay, so this is my task for this week. So take a look at that um, the voltage that I am currently using right here. Can you see it? It's pila man. Nandering aside.
120.
120 volts.
Okay, so it's
120.
120
120.
volts.
Diba? So it's 120 volts. So definitely the voltage that we are using in the Philippines is different from the voltage being used in some countries, say for example in the United States. Okay, so they're using 120. So that is why you have to be very careful in um, choosing the right amount of voltage, since it varies from one place to another. So that's one thing that you really have to learn. Okay, and you also should know how to identify the voltage and the power. So in my next discussion, we will be talking about power, but this is I will give you an overview on how how electrical engineering is being appreciated in some other parts of the world, wherein even if you are just still a student, you would be able to learn, or to earn money, and to earn money working online, since the skills are not really that intricate. I mean, the skills that you really need to learn is not really that complicated. You just need to learn how to read the wattage, the voltages, and the current. Okay, so for this morning, I'll just have to give you the overview on the concept of voltage and the concept of power. Okay, so I will go back to this slide to this presentation after I will be sharing to you what are the things um that I am doing right now as an electrical engineer doing online. But this is very common to this is also very related to our discussion today, which is the voltage and power. Okay, so I think I was not able to share it yet. hmm So I'll have to. I have to share screen again. So with my tab here. Okay, so let's go. So that's the importance of voltage. You need to see what would be the operating voltage in a particular device or in that specific appliance before you do anything. That's one thing that you should check. Okay, so we already defined how to mark your potential difference. You need the positive and negative. Then you need the numerical coefficient, and then if the sign convention would then be reversed, then you'll just have to reverse the sign of your magnitude. Okay? So far class, madungog ra ba akong discussion? Or dili? Klaro
Yes,
ra
Yes,
ba
sir.
ang
sir.
tingog ni sir? Okay,
Klaro,
Klaro.
klaro
sir.
ra. Okay, so let's go back to the convention that we will be using. Again, if it is small letter with P, like this one here, V1 of P, that's how you read it. Okay, so if you have V1 of P, it means that, unsa ni siya?
Time dependent.
Okay, time dependent. Very good. Time dependent or time varying. It means that the value of your voltage will vary with respect to time. So if it's not gonna be small letter, or if it's, for example, it's capital letter V or big letter V. Okay, so it is time not varying. So it's constant with respect to time. Say for example, you have here 5 volts. Okay, so this one here, you have, what do you call the source? If it's gonna be time varying, you have AC, right? Alternating. And for the constant, you have your DC here.
DC.
Okay, so that's how you label and identify your voltage. Okay, so again, you have here the definition of any voltage must include. Okay, so the definition of this voltage must include a plus minus sign pair. Okay, so that's how we labeled our voltage. Okay, so let's go to this practice problem, which is very elementary. Okay, is it? No, naglag siya. Okay, so very elementary, no? So for the element in figure 2.11, V1 is equal to 17 volts. Okay, so if V1 is 17, if V1 is 17, then V2 would then be, sa
Negative.
ganito, negative
Negative.
17. So, nganong na negative gani? Nganong na negative ang voltage sa
Change ang
V2?
sign.
Na-change ang sign.
Reverse
Okay, so
polarity.
very good. Okay, so after discussing the voltage, which is also which is a very important parameter in electrical circuits or in electricity, we will now go to the importance of power. Sa si Sagusay, wala ni siya email nga kuan, wala ni siya email nga sa ni siya email nga si SUCC nga nang di mo siya makagamit. Kailan mo ani niya?
Yes, sir. Classmate na mo.
Palihog kog message B nga gamiton iyang si SUCC nga email para makasulod sa atong klase. Thank you.
Okay,
Kanipod
sir.
si Justin. Palihog po ko ni Justin. Okay, nga email nila sa ilang CSU sa kabadbaran ang gamiton. Okay? So let's go to the concept of power, which is also a very important concept in electrical engineering. Okay, so let's recall from your basic electrical engineering installation. P is equal to voltage times current. Okay, so we have here, I'll just have to change it into something more vivid para mas maklaro siya. Okay, so we have the power is equal to, P is equal to voltage times current, where your P here is your power, your V here is your voltage, okay, and your I here is your current. So that's how you calculate your power. Okay. So what are the things that we need to okay, so we need to take take a look at these rules here. Okay, so okay, so when the current arrow, okay, so take a look at this one. When, okay, so when the current arrow is directed at the plus mark terminal, we satisfy the passive sign convention. Okay, so it means that if the current arrow is directed into the element of the plus mark, okay, so the power is being delivered to the element. Okay, so the power is delivered to the element, or we could also say the power is absorbed by the element. Okay, so if the arrow, like, di ba, ato mang define ganina ang, ato mang define ka ganina ang, si kani, di ba, nagbutang man tag voltage signs ka ganina. We have the positive here and the negative. Okay? So, ano siya? If the arrow is pointing sa positive, di ba sa positive man siya, ni sulod. Okay? So, the power is being delivered. Okay? So, the power, can I adjust this one here? Medyo dako siya. Di na ko siya makita. Okay, so, the power here is, ayan. The power is being delivered to our element here. So, nag-deliver ta og power ani nga element. Okay? Or, we could say nga, kani nga element, kung gi-deliveran siya og power, so kung ay nag-deliver sa imo, so syempre, imo siyang i-receive. So, this, we could also say that this power is being absorbed. Right? Absorb or receive. So, ingana na siya. Okay? Ako na to. Power, kana lang siya atong hunahunahon. The power is being delivered or the power is being absorbed. Basta pasulod sa positive. Okay, na-recall pa ninyo sa yung basic na electricity? Naagian ba nato ni? Anyone? Or wala na mo nakadungog sa ako? Naapa mo? Oh, wala naman na ginaningog. Kumusta man dira nga
Yes, sir.
side? Or wala na mo naminaw? Buhi pa ta? Alive pa? What's your question so far? Nagian na ninyo sa inyong basic electrical installation or sa inyong basic electricity? Naapa mo? Or unsa man?
Yes, sir. Na, sir.
Maka-recall mo kaniagi mo ani or wala? Para ato siyang hinahinayon or unsa ba? Nakaagi
Naagi,
na.
sir.
Okay. So, kung nakaagi na ta, when we say P is equal to VI, then our voltage is 2. Okay, so say for example, natani ha, kani nga circuit atong lantawon class. Kani nga situation. Okay, so kani nga situation atong lantawon, kaning figure A. Okay ha, tamanay na siya. Natay positive 2 diri na natay 3. So if I would be asking you how much power is being delivered to the element. Saan ito na pag-solve?
6 watts, sir.
6
So
sir,
the
6
power
6.
watts.
being delivered is 2 times 3. You have here 6 watts. How about my question would then be how much power is being absorbed?
It depends man sir sa time.
No, how much power is being absorbed by the element? When we say power is being absorbed, dili siya time depend, dili siya dili siya depende sa time. Okay? Power is independent sa time. I mean, ayo siya ikuan ha. I mean, di ba pag nanakay time, energy na siya. Di ba? So if mingon ta nga how much power is being absorbed by the element, pila. So if you would say nga, okay, so if aning reason. Let's go to this very basic one. Or I could open here by try not by nudity. Do I have? Wala. Okay, so diri ta skilled na. So let's recall natay kaning element. Okay. Okay, tani. Positive, negative, 2 volts, 3 amps. Pasulod sa positive. Question number 1. How much power is being delivered to the element, to the network? Pila? Your solution, saan man? How much power is being delivered to the network?
P is equal to V times current.
V times
VF.
I. So you have P is equal to 2 times 3. You have 6 watts.
6 watts.
Okay, so for question number 2, power being absorbed by the element. Kaniyang question. Okay, so first question is power being delivered to the network. You said 6 watts. So the question number 2 would then be power being absorbed by the element. Pila? Unsa man? Pila gani? Unsa man? Pila ang na-absorb?
6 watts, sir.
Anong 6 watts man? Unsa man? Ganong 6 watts man? Sige daw. Okay. Unsa man? Ganong 6 watts ang answer?
Mo po na delivered, sir.
Power, sir.
Di ba? So, atong i-recall ang passive sign convention nga convention sa power nga kung ang basta musulod ang arrowhead sa atong positive sign, then the network is absorbing power. Or pwede pa natin siya state nga power is being delivered into the element. Nakuha ninyo? So, pwede natin siya state into 2. Pwede natin siya iingon nga 6 watts is being transferred or being delivered to network A. So, we say network A here. Okay, so power is being delivered to network A, or pwede po natin siya iingon nga network A is absorbing that power. Diba? Sa duha, pwede natin siya ma-state kung duha. Okay, so let's go to figure B. Kani. Sige daw. Power being delivered to the network. Network B ni siya. We have network B here. Okay, so power being delivered to the element, to the network. Pila?
6 watts gyapon, sir.
P is equal to negative
Negative
2
6.
V times negative 3
A.
A. So
6
naatay
watts.
6 watts. So how about power being absorbed by the network?
6 watts yapon, sir.
6
6
watts
watts
gyapon.
gyapon, sir.
Very good. Okay. So now let's go to network C. Network C. Okay. So first question. Power being delivered to the network.
Negative 20, sir.
20, sir.
P is equal to 4 times negative 5. So nakay negative 20 watts. Power being absorbed by the network.
Negative 20 watts.
Negative 20 gyapon, sir.
Negative 20 watts. Okay. So now, I have a question. Unsay pasabot anang negative 20 watts nga gi-absorb sa imong network? Unsa na siya?
Electron, sir.
I mean, unsay pasabot aning naakay negative 20 nga gi-absorb sa imong network nga power. Unsa man?
Ito pangatana, sir.
Unsay pasabot nga naay power nga negative 20 nga power sa imong network?
Pasabot, sir, kay nabali ang kuyang kuan.
Nabali ang unsa may nabali. Okay, so let's dissect this one para di maglibog. Sir, ngano na may negative nga. Okay, so I think we can use this portion here. We can use this portion here to illustrate that one. Okay, so let me erase this. Or maybe I could create a new. No, not sure. Diri. Yes, na ay. Okay, so let me just check it here and create a note. Create a note. Okay, very good. Na di ay. Okay, so let's use this feature. Ayan. Okay. So, try na to. So, say for example, ato siyang i-translate into real world. No, naatay solar panel diri PV. Tapos, naatay battery. Okay? Naatay positive, negative sa battery diri. So, kani, mo ni atong ingon nga kani nga portion. Ay, dili siya makita, class. Sorry, kung padakan. Kana, dili gihapon. Kani. Okay, kita na? Natay PV diri. Okay. Tapos, natay battery. Okay, so ato siyang isaynan og positive, negative. Okay? So kani siya is solar panel. Hunahunaan ni nga solar panel. Okay? So kani nga portion diri kana mao ni siya ang kaning positive negative kani. Dira. This one here. Okay? So naatay positive negative diri. Kani siyang a portion diri mo ni sa solar panel. So naatay positive negative. Sa battery, positive negative. Let's check the color. Okay. So kani nga portion diri class mo ni ang diri kani. Okay? Diri nga part. Diri kani. Tapos kani diring sa atong battery, sa battery nato mo pud ni siya diri. Okay? Kani nga portion. Okay, so let's dissect kasi pasabot adto niya. Okay. So di ba ang atong nahibaluan is kaning atong solar panel mag-charge siya sa atong battery, di ba? Ingana man. Tama ba? Okay? So mag-supply siya diri og ato lang gamito ang value ha. So natay 2 volts diri. Gamito nato ni diring 3 amps. Para just for the sake of kuan. Illustration. Okay, yun. Okay, so natay 2 volts, natay 3 amps. Padulong dito. So pasulod siya sa positive, di ba? Okay. So kung maingon ta og power absorbed sa imong battery, pila man? Ay, pila gito value diri? Sige, first is power nga na-absorb sa imong battery, pila?
6 watts.
Okay, 6 watts, di ba? So, kasabutan na. Ang battery nato is nag-absorb siya og 6 watts. Klaro. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, what if, maingon ko, ang battery nag-absorb og 6 watts or ang power nga, pilay power gi-deliver padulong sa battery?
3.
6 watts.
Power, 6 watts. Okay, klaro. Ang battery, ni-receive siya og 6 watts, ang battery gi-deliveran og 6 watts. Okay. So now, what if negative 3 na siya? So pila ang power nga gi-deliver dito sa battery?
Negative.
6.
Negative 6.
Negative 6 watts. Pila ang power nga na-absorb sa battery?
Negative 6.
Negative 6 watts. So unsay pasabot ana? Muna ang question ni sir. Unsay pasabot ana? Okay. Ang pasabot ana, if you would say nga ang imong battery is nag-absorb og negative power, it means nga siya ang nag-supply. Instead nga ang imong PV padulong didto, pwede na to siya ingon nga ang battery ang nag-supply padulong didto. So wala gi-charge sa imong solar panel, imong battery, but ang imong battery mao ang nag-supply sa imong solar panel. Nakuha ninyo?
Gets
Yes,
na,
sir.
sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Na-gets ninyo? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So sa passive sign convention, kung sa positive musulod ang imong arrow, it means nga bahalag unsay sign ana niya, imo ra gyud siyang i-assume nga bahalag unsay sign sa imong power, you would also always say nga the power is being absorbed by the element. So kung negative siya, mo nito mong giingon nga ang element ang nag-absorb og negative power, pero ang pasabot ato niya if nag-absorb siya og negative power, it means nga siya ang naghatag og power sa pikas nga side or siya ang nag-charge or siya ang nag-supply. Okay, klaro na to? Klaro, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so nakuha na ninyo ang basic nga configuration sa kuan. Okay, so let's close this one here. Okay, so inganaon lang nato siya pag-explain no ang positive power. So I think mura na siya ang importante diri. Okay, so kani, tulang tabon. For siya? For practice problem number 2, kani, determine the power being absorbed by the circuit. So kani atong circuit ani. Kani ang circuit niya. This one here mo ni iyang circuit. Okay? Determine the power being absorbed by the circuit. So sa A, pilay power nga na-absorb? Class. Pilay power nga na-absorb sa A?
880.
880.
220
180.
MV times 4. Diba? Mora na siya. Pilay answer ni?
880.
180.
880
Yes, sir.
milliwatts. Okay. Muna siya ang power nga i-absorb. Okay? So sa B, absorbed by the circuit, pila man?
$6.65.
6
65 ampere ay
pila?
6.65.
Namoy calculator nila.
Yes, sir.
65 watts.
6.65
Pila?
watts,
6
sir.
point
6.65.
6.65.
watts. So, mo ni ang power absorbed by the circuit. Mo agree ang tanan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Lantawan ninyo ang kuan. Lantawan ninyo ang sign. Padulong ba sa positive ba ni sulod ang arrow?
Sa negative.
Sir. Dili,
Ah?
sir.
Sa letter B, sir?
So, kung dili
Yes, sir.
siya sa positive ni sulod, sa
Negative.
may pasabot.
Negative 6.5
Negative siya.
Negative.
watts.
So, ang answer ay
Negative
is
Negative
negative 6.
0.65.
negative 6.65 watts. So, agree na tanan ni or dili?
Agree.
Agree.
Agree, sir.
Okay, sir, mo naglibog yun sa pagkuha. Di ba ang rule is dapat sa positive mo sulod ang arrow. So kung ingani imong given and di ka gusto nga maglibog, imo ra ni siyang i-change ang arrowhead. So kung i-change na tong arrowhead diri, so unsay mahitabo sa current?
Positive.
Positive, sir.
1.75 ampere. So kung positive siya, so ang atong power, so nisulod na siya sa positive nga side. It means nga ang atong network is absorbing power na. So karon pwede na ito magamit dayon nga naata sa notion nga okay, the circuit is now absorbing power. Pero how much power? Okay, so P is equal to 3.8 negative times 1.75 ampere. So mo ni siya ang negative 6.65 watts. Okay, so your circuit is now absorbing negative 6.65 watts. So, ang sakit yung pasabot, ani, kung negative siya?
Siya ang nag-supply.
Siya ang nag-supply.
Ang
So,
battery
pwede po ni mo siya ignon nga the circuit is supplying 6.65 watts. So, tanggalo na ni mo ang sign. If mo imong reference is ang circuit, mayroon na ka nga, the circuit is now supplying 6.65 to the source. Okay? Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Or, pwede mo siya iingon nga, the circuit is absorbing negative 6.65 watts. Okay? Klaro? Klaro, no? So,
Klaro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
sa letter C, how much power is being absorbed by the element?
LN.
Ayun na lang, i-times na siya. Pila man. Ang importante ani is for you to be able to understand sa una ang pag-absorb o delivered sa power. So, power being absorbed. Unsa man? Pagawas, di ba ni? Ang arrow, same diri nga case, pagawas. Wa siya sa positive di sulod. So dapat kung ato siya ibaylo, unsa mahitabo? Mahimong negative 3.2 times 8 e negative 100. So i-times na nimo mo na imong power being absorbed negative pila man ni siya 16.25.6 e negative 100t watts. Kuha?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think dira sa tataman for today kay naay meeting si sir. And then okay. So ing ana ra na siya no. So sir, unsa may ko ana na appreciation sa power o sa power sa kuan sir sa electrical engineering o ang voltage. Okay, so let me just check. Let me share with this one to you. Okay, so sa akong sideline sa okay, so kanilang tawag ninyo class. Akong makita ninyo ang kuan na siya pinaka-zoom no. Okay. So kaning mga naka-circle nga oops. Okay. Kaning mga naka-circlean mo ni ang mga element, mo ni ang mga load. Okay, so sa natay akong gipang imong i-identify as electrical estimator, imong i-identify unsa ang mga elements sa imong electrical plan. So mo ni ang electrical plan sa nga gihatag sa ako. Okay? So sa iyang liguana na siya'y suga diri, na siya'y suga, okay, na siya'y LED diri. So mo na atong identify. So sa lights ra ni siya, mo ni akong ginabuhat. So sir, asa man mosulod ang katong mga voltage and power ana kung electrical engineer ka nya mag-work ka sa isa ka company. So one of the things that you could do is resume presenting. Okay. So let's go back here sa akong okay. So kani siya load no. You would say nga sa bathroom kato akong gipakita ganina na ako'y tulo ka fixture type or na ako'y tulo ka load. Okay, so akong gi-identify pila ang quantity. So isa ra man to sila so tag isa-isa. Now, sir, pila ang fixture wattage? Dapat kabalo ka pila ang wattage nga imong i-assign or pila ang wattage nga or power sa imong suga bakaha. So say for example sa kani sa bathroom na atay 18 watts. Okay, natay 18 watts kada isa nila. Okay, mo to siya. Natay 18 watts, then unsa siya nga load type, LED forward siya, LED forward phase. Kani siya is very common sa kani nga company nga akong gitrabahoan. Then pila ang wattage nga effective is naa siya tolerance, nahimo siyang 21, but definitely 18 ra siya diri, 18, pero naa siya percentage nga gi-assign ani nga equipment nga tamon siya og 21. Then ang voltage is 120. Okay? So as electrical engineer, you should know how to read electrical plan. And then you would know unsa ang mga equipment nga imong gamiton. Okay? So natay bathroom sa different rooms, natay bathroom, natay bedroom. Okay, sa bedroom is maupod ni siya tanan, natay sa entry or sa hallway na isa, sa living room na ay duha, okay, sa mechanical room na ay isa. Na ay 16 ka quantities pero isa ra siya nga type sa suga. Okay? So I think that would be all for today. Na meeting si Sir by 10. And I hope na amoy na gets and na amoy other questions for now. Do
Wala,
you have
sir.
any concerns?
Wala
Okay,
na,
so
sir.
if none, I will stop the recording